all right.
Okay. Should we go?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just gonna go straight into it, or
Yeah, I think so.
cool. Yeah. Do you want to go first? What's your
Okay.
first fact then, Poppy, about octopuses?
Okay. So my first fact about octopuses are that they have blue blood.
That is very cool.
Yeah. So unlike us, we have hemoglobin, which makes our blood red. They have
Yeah.
hemocyanin. Hemocyanin, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Hemocyanin.
Hemocyanin, and that
Yeah.
makes it look blue instead.
Yeah, so it's a copper-based protein, and it functions the same way as hemoglobin, but it's more effective at getting the blood oxygen into the blood.
Okay.
In oxygen.
Because we don't need to on land, I guess, because we just got loads of oxygen around us. But
yeah, so underwater there's less oxygen available, so it's a more efficient way to pump the blood and get oxygen into the body.
Cool. Is it the same as like the horseshoe crab? Because they got blue blood as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. I'm not sure, but I imagine so.
Yeah, it must be.
Most water.
If it's blue and all the ones on land are red, I don't know if they got blue-blooded animals on land. I know like spiders have transparent blood, don't they?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone has blue blood, but I have friends with somebody whose dad's a surgeon.
Yeah.
And it was quite worrying because, like, he said, the dad said that people have blue blood, but it changes red when it gets exposed to air, the oxygen.
I heard that too, because if you look at your veins,
yeah,
they look blue.
But it can't be right because it would have to like act at the speed of light, wouldn't it? As soon as it comes out, it's like turned red magically.
Yeah, like right at the beginning it's blue, but then it just sprays out red.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Maybe it's blue like when it gets all the oxygen gets taken out. I don't know, but I'm not a blood expert.
Who knows? Right, what's your fact?
Well, the first one is an old favourite of ours, which is octopuses, not octopodes or octopi.
I would really love like octopodes. That's my favourite.
I love octopodes as well, but I learned that it's definitely octopuses.
Yeah,
because octopi is the Latin name for many octopuses, but the word octopus actually come from Greek.
Yeah.
So the Greek way of saying it would be octopodes, but apparently you can't use pluralisms converted from like Greek to English or something. Oh. So that's why we can't have octopodes, but it's just octopuses.
Yeah. Yeah, actually a couple of sources that I used for this call them octopi, and I was like,
oh, is it? No.
It's bad.
It just ruins the whole argument straight away.
I know.
You're like being so pissed off, I've just turned it off. Like, yeah. No, I learned this fact 5 minutes ago. I know that it's wrong, so I'm just not even going to read it.
Yeah, I know. And you did that IQ test, didn't you? And
that's ruined it for me as well.
Yeah, and you were just like, no, you're wrong.
It was octopi in that as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it didn't. I don't think it even gave the option for one of them, like octopodes or octopuses. I can't remember what one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we separated from the octopus evolutionarily about 60 million years ago. 600 million years ago, sorry. From a flatworm. It's our last common ancestor, was a type of flatworm. And because the octopus evolved around just shortly after that, it would have been the only intelligent life on this planet.
Yeah.
That we know of at the time. So it's probably the octopus was probably the first intelligent being on this planet.
I read a paper as well about it, and there are some scientists who are actually like actively claiming that they come from space.
Yeah, I saw that maybe last year or the year before.
So. Yeah, it's so funny.
It's funny.
I mean, they're so smart, and there's nothing else like them. Yeah. And these scientists were like, it has to be from outer space. And
I think they've disproved it because of like the way the genes are organized and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of the most, like I've told you before, I think it's like one of the most abundant shapes of the life form, because it's so adapt and so good that I think it's probably, if we were to meet aliens, they would probably have an animal shape like that on their planet.
Yeah, but probably even freakier.
Yeah, because yeah, it's got 10 legs. Monstrosities here.
Right, so my next fact is that octopuses are very keen on safe sex. And
Yeah. How do they? Well, they got underwater condoms, or
yeah, so they're very elusive animals, and they don't really like mingling with others. So if they're a particularly shy octopus, they will send their sperm in little packages to a female and just go, like, they'll just send it away and go.
just be nowhere near the female.
Yeah, they're just like, no, I'm just, here's some sperm, I'm off. It's like Tinder octopus world. Just take my sperm. But
That's so weird. Imagine sending some jizz in a package to your secret admirer. I mean, somebody you admire.
here you go. But sometimes they even send little gifts. So along with their little package of sperm, they'll sever their they like sever their arm and they send it off with the sperm as a little gift.
Like Vincent Van Gogh, isn't it? Or Van Gogh. Sent his ear.
Yeah.
Octopuses. That's amazing, though. I didn't know that. I didn't read up on that one.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Pretty interesting. Sever their arm. What do they sever with? But can they just like do it without, or do they sever it themselves with a rock or
No,
something? Or?
they can just sever their appendages.
Like a lizard with its tail.
Oh yeah. So
oh, cool.
they can sort of eject them, but probably a point I think you're going to talk about later is like with their brains. Obviously, they've got little brains in each of their arms.
Yeah.
And so
they've got 9 brains.
Yeah, 9 brains. Got
yeah.
Big one and one in each of their arms. So when they disconnect or whatever they do with their one that they're getting rid of, it has a little mind of its own for that little bit of time that it's
yeah, it just wiggles itself towards
I
the
wonder
woman.
if that's how it gets the sperm to the woman.
Yeah. Sends its arm.
It sends its arm. Wait, can it hold its sperm and walk at the same time?
And swim. Oh, yeah. Does it walk or swim? Or it's like that on the sea floor.
So strange.
Well, I might as well find that fact now, really.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, the arms react after a detachment. So researchers at St George's University of London and Zurich Station in Naples, Italy, demonstrated the arms are capable of reflex withdrawal to a notch stimuli without reference to the brain. So like when the researchers pinched the arm, it would react and recoil. Like it's actually its own entity. So the octopus's brain, it's got 9 brains. 2/3 of the brain neurons are located within the arms themselves. So the arms can just act autonomously. They can just do their own, like it could be opening up a shell while the octopus is free to think about and do other things. The arm's doing it on itself. So it's really good. Yeah. Really interesting.
Yeah, and that's good for quite a few things. Obviously, if they're
it's super multitasking, isn't it? It's like every person's dream, I think. If you could just imagine like being able to like, read a book and you can just make stuff, like do cooking while you're reading a book and not even look at it. Like, because that's another thing about ostriches, I was going to say. Completely opposite animal. Yeah, octopuses can see with their skin.
That's weird.
They're actually colorblind, even though they change color.
Yeah.
They can't see with their eyes. They can tell the color of the light of the background from their skin.
Yeah, I read that scientists don't know whether octopuses know that they're changing color or not because they can't actually see the colors. But I mean, I imagine they would because, well, I don't know.
their color receptors are in their skin,
Yeah.
not the way that the eye's built, but
Yeah.
it's built into their skin so they can adapt like that.
Mm.
It's cute.
Yeah, it's mental. Alright, what have I got? Oh yeah, so octopuses can hold grudges against people. There was a octopus in a aquarium somewhere, and it was quite a friendly octopus. His name was Truman, I think, and there was just this one lady who worked there that he just hated. Like he just couldn't stand her, and he would shoot water at her every time she came near his tank. Like every single time, like no matter what. And then she left to go to
Wonder
college.
what she did to it.
I know.
She did something to that octopus.
Yeah, I think the paper said he just took a disliking to her. So I don't think she actually did anything. But yeah, she left for college, and for months and months and months, he didn't shoot water at anybody. And then she visited, like a few months later or 6 months later or whatever. And as soon as he saw her, he shot her with water again.
After so long, yeah.
Yeah, but it also shows
fucking bitch again.
Yeah, I just absolutely hated her.
Yeah, that's mad.
But that shows that they can recognize people as well.
Yeah, it shows you how intelligent things are when they can keep grudges.
Yeah, because he
like,
knew
remember something.
Exactly who she was.
That woman done something to that octopus.
Yeah.
I'm on the octopus's side here. Like, I want to know that something horrible is going to come out about that woman.
Yeah, maybe he sent her a bag of sperm and she didn't accept.
He just sensed it, like dogs can smell it.
Yeah. But not all octopuses are cute.
No.
Well, they are, but still.
Some are fucking ugly.
Some are deadly. So there is one really deadly species of octopus called, I think it's a blue-ringed octopus.
I saw those. They're cool. Yeah.
They're really cool.
Blue's so nice, isn't it? Such a nice, like blue ringlets, aren't they?
Yeah. So this is the paper that called them octopi as well. So. But yeah, the blue-ringed octopuses carry enough venom that can kill 26 adults.
Wow, that is quite venomous, isn't it?
That's mad.
I wonder what the comparison is like to a snake or something like that. Or...
I think I found something about that. Let me see if I wrote it down. I don't know. It's among one of the deadliest sea creatures, but there's only actually been 3 reported cases of death by them. And I think if your symptoms, you need to survive the first 15 hours if you're going to survive at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but there's no antidote or antivenom for it. So that's why it's so dangerous. But there's only 3 deaths reported, 2 in Australia, obviously, and 1 in Singapore.
That's kind of comforting, because I watched a video called something like, what if an octopus just grabbed you? Like, and I was watching it, and it installed my new fear of deep sea diving. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Like it said that an octopus comes out and it drags you to the depths. Like it comes out and grabs you and drags you down.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't going out like that, no chance. Like, and he said, like an octopus can squeeze through anything, like, but it has to be the size of its beak. And then he was saying, well, there's bits on this that are bigger than its beak, so it could just get into his outfit. Like, just crawl through and be stuck in there with you. Imagine that. Like, hit my pants.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go deep sea diving anytime soon. Yeah.
But I don't think the blue-ringed ones are actually very big either. They're pretty small.
No, they're tiny, yeah. MDMA, is another fact of mine.
Yeah.
When you give octopuses MDMA, they the paper says that they. Hang on a second. The animals ignored toys such as Star Wars figurines that they would normally play with. And instead, the octopuses socialized and spent more time touching one another with their arms than these creatures usually do. Because they're normally, and they're solitary, aren't they? So,
yeah. So it made them
that's interesting because they diverged from us 600 million years ago. So they have completely different blood chemistry and stuff like that, like you were saying earlier. So it's interesting that MDMA affects them the same way as it does us.
Yeah, that is actually, isn't it?
Well, trippy.
But also, octopuses, a lot of studies were suggesting that most of the traits are like personality rather than nature. I can't remember the like the context, but there were just loads of different examples of why it's hard to study them like in general, because so many of them have such different personalities that they tend to do all do different things.
Yeah, that's a big argument in the scientific community at the moment. That octopuses definitely do have their own behaviour, their own personalities. So, which is quite rare with animals as well.
Definitely.
Not with household animals like dogs, cats. And mammals with higher prefrontal cortex.
Yeah. Oh yeah, another thing about well, it's not really about the sex, but it's after that. So although they have different ways of having sex, whatever, after they after they mate, they die. So
I heard that. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, so they basically save mating till end of life, because they have relatively short lifespans anyway. Like some just die after.
Yeah, it's only a few years, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be.
Oh no, what is going on? Did you turn the volume up?
No.
All right. Keep getting an echo of my voice.
Oh, I can't hear it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So they tend to die pretty much straight away after having babies. Well, they just.
Is that to feed the babies?
Huh?
Is that to feed the babies? Do the babies eat the mum afterwards, or like a lot of animals do that, don't they?
I don't know.
Like a spider.
I didn't look into
Spiders
that.
do that, I think.
Like
a spider. Basically, a sea spider.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, so after so it'd be a shame to just send your sperm over if it's going to be the last thing you do. You want to go for it. They're like,
that sounds like sounds like the way I'm going to go out. So. some years. There are weird descriptions. Speaking of weird descriptions, like this Smithsonian magazine article that I read, it said that octopuses, like all cephalopods, are just animals with arms stuck to their head. I was like, that's the weirdest way of describing an octopus ever. Like, if a kid came up to you and said, "What's an octopus?" and you just said it looks like a head with loads of arms on it. Well, kind of. I suppose it is. But it's just a weird description. That's a pretty good description, actually.
And apparently Aristotle thought they were dumb sea creatures.
Well, everyone back then thought animals were fucking dumb. So.
Yeah.
So recent, even the Tories nowadays, so they haven't got emotions or anything. They can't feel.
Let's not get
pain.
Let's not get onto the yeah, my next one was about octopuses having minds of their own, arms having minds of their own. I know we quickly spoken about it, but it's basically 2/3 of an octopus's neurons reside in its arms, not its head. Their arms can problem solve, how to open shellfish while their owners are busy doing something else, like checking out the cave for more edible goodies.
Oh, that's what I got. That's exactly the same article I got it from.
How is it?
Yeah.
It's
so
really
they're completely autonomous. They can just do what they want. The arms, it's really.
Yeah, but it's good
really
for hunting and for also keeping yourself safe if there's predators about. So they're always on the ball.
Well, the cephalopods are basically like shellfish without a shell, aren't they? So that's why they're so smart, is because they've had to adapt so well to their environment. Like, it's amazing that they've survived. Like, you still have shellfish. Yeah, they've got no protection. Well, apart from that stuff that they've, like the super cool things that they've evolved.
Yeah, the only hard part of their body is their beak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's where the
everything else,
venom is as well, isn't it?
I think so. But
Yeah.
I guess that's why they can fit through anything as long as it's smaller than their beak.
Did you know that they've got roughly the same type of neurons as a dog?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Hmm,
Not too bad, isn't it? Half a billion, I think. I think that was the number.
that's mad.
Whereas
Right.
human beings have 100 billion. Because
And how many
it's
octopus have?
half a billion.
That's mad.
Yeah. But the way that their brains lay out, because they've got a decentralized brain, as in like ours is centralized because it's just in here. Theirs is decentralized because it spans throughout their whole body.
Yeah.
They're being used as a way and a new way of looking at AI. So people have built AI structures, that's artificial intelligence structures that are built on the way that the octopus brain works. So instead of having that, because they're having trouble making it look like the human brain, they're
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, how about we get different tasks built, different tasks done by different sectors of this giant decentralized brain," so, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Not.
So my last fact is a little bit sad, but yeah, basically, octopuses can get really depressed and stressed out. In
You and me
in
both, brother.
yeah, and well, we don't have captive animals, um, but
Not
basically,
super
yeah,
smart ones.
if they get bored or stressed out, they kind of self-harm, and they stress they cut off their arms, and they sometimes eat them.
They love
So
cutting
they're
off their arms, don't they?
like, but yeah, so they just eat themselves basically when they're
Yeah,
bored or
I heard that, but I wondered if that was like if times are hard type thing. It's just handy to have a little nibble on yourself. Self
yeah, I guess
cannibalism.
it could be a useful tactic if there isn't much food
Probably a
about
bit of
because
both. If you're not getting a lot of food, you're well depressed and you're like, fuck
hungry.
it. Hangy.
But they do grow back though. So
Yeah,
once they
no, I saw
once
that.
their arms, and I think you also said to
They're
me
so
earlier.
mad, aren't they? All of these different things that they can do. Like, stop it.
I know. I mean, I was only looking for about an hour, 2 hours for not even that. I don't think maybe an hour for all these facts, and I just found so many,
Yeah,
and like let alone what we don't know about them as well.
exactly. Stuff that we've missed.
Yeah. Well, or just haven't found out yet.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's still a lot of science to be done. So. It's all
And
relatively new, isn't it? Animal behavior sciences, like
yeah,
behavioral sciences, they're all kind of relatively new. Yeah.
yeah. It'd be interesting to know how they sort of communicate with each other because they are quite solitary. I wonder.
And we guess chopping off their arm and throwing it at another one.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but did you have something about the arms when they're detached because they grow back?
No,
Did you
I
have a
don't think
video?
so.
You didn't have a video. I thought you did.
Of it being no, I've got a woman trying to eat one live.
Oh, was it attached to an octopus?
It's a real live octopus, and she's trying to eat it like a
Okay,
horrible
no,
human being,
it's
and
just because
she gets fucking done over.
it's just because what I was gonna say is in some countries they eat the arms of octopuses, but some of them make them shed their own arm and then they eat it, but it's still alive.
Oh, like farming.
I think so, yeah. So the arm is actually still alive when they're eating it because it has its own brain, so it survives for a bit on its own, and that's
Yeah.
why it moves around on the plate and stuff. But I think it's in Japan. They eat the arm while it's still alive, but the octopus isn't killed because it would just regrow a new one. But I don't know how it's farmed
I
or
wonder if a
anything.
vegan would like take that as a completely different entity. Can you take like? I mean, if you found an octopus arm on the beach and it was still alive, is it alive for one? Like, and is it bad to eat it? Well, probably because it's disgusting, just walking
Yeah.
down the beach, picking up.
I think
and just eating
ethically
it.
that still isn't correct for vegans.
It's from an animal, I guess.
Yeah.
But is it an
Which
animal?
I see your point though. I mean, it's not going to reproduce it.
It's not dig on vegans for it. It's just interesting. Sorry.
Yeah. Should I play that video?
Of the woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of vegans, here's another. He's definitely not a vegan. This is a great video because it's my least favorite animal, a human being, versus my favorite animal. Full screen. Weird. Take that, you idiot. Trying to eat animals alive. How bad is that? Like, even if you're very
Oh my
pro
God.
eating animals, I still don't think you should eat one alive.
No.
Aye, no.
That's nasty.
Idiot.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that again. She looks horrified.
I know, yeah.
Guys.
Well, the octopus loses eventually because he cooks it in oil. But,
Oh.
no fun.
Yeah.
Sad end to it. But
Yeah, no, that's not cool.
it's been fun.
It has been fun.
I think that's all of my facts done now.
Yeah, that's all of mine
About
done.
time to round it up, I think. Oh, sorry, my last fact was that now scientists have discovered that octopuses can rewrite their own RNA sequence. So, yeah, your DNA is what makes you. It's a genetic code that makes you look like you. Well, the RNA is a way of coding DNA. So they can change their RNA so it codes their DNA differently to adapt to the surroundings as well. So, which is just unbelievable. They're not the only thing that do it. It's, apparently all cephalopods do it.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that is otherworldly. That's pretty interesting. So, even though I don't think they're aliens, but I think they're very, very different.
Yeah, well, they're definitely the closest thing we have to aliens anyway.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one. But maybe a bacteria or something. But, yeah. Something with a definitive shape, then yeah.
That's mad. Oh, well.
Yay, octopuses.
Yay.
We do this again.
Mascot.
We do. I need to do my poster and stuff. I'm getting messages now. Probably not about octopuses, but unfortunately, since I spent the last couple of days learning unbelievable amounts about octopuses.
I know.
I enjoyed every minute.
We're just gonna forget it all now because.
What are we gonna do next week? What do you reckon? It's your choice. So.
My choice for next week. So we'll let people ask us as well what they want us to talk about. So if there are any species that you want us to look at, let us know.
Good shout out.
Yeah, but I think I would like to have a look at moths. No, I can't help it. It's my favourite. So.
They are good, aren't they? That moth that I tagged you in was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, crazy. We'll
like
get
a huge tarantula. Pegasus.
Yeah, mad.
Yeah, we'll put it on.
So, yeah. Okay, that's next week. Moths.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for watching. Hope we weren't too cringy.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.